Have you ever felt like your world is completely falling apart? Or have you experienced energy surges in your body? These could be signs of either a dark night of the soul or a Kundalini awakening, the two most transformative healing experiences during a spiritual awakening. I'm going to help you decipher if you're experiencing either one or the other. By the end of this video, you will understand the key distinctions between these two experiences and what they mean for your spiritual journey. Hi, my name is Michelle Fondin. I'm the author of almost 12 published books, including Heal Yourself, A Return to Wholeness, the integration of body, mind, soul, and spirit, and Chakra Healing for Vibrant Energy, exploring your 7 energy centers with mindfulness, yoga, and Ayurveda. All of my published books are available on Amazon. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for subscribing below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. I teach meditation online on demand. You can start that on demand at the link below. Welcome to my video series on exploring your inner world and your spiritual journey. Let's explore the differences between the dark night of the soul and a Kundalini awakening. I just produced a video on the dark night of the soul and the signs of the dark night of the soul. I'm going to post that link right here for you to view after this video and to save it, to view it again as you're moving through the dark night of the soul. But briefly, the dark night of the soul is a highly transformative experience. Imagine a caterpillar entering the cocoon and moving through the period of metamorphosis, where it turns into a sticky goo. It's no longer a caterpillar. And then it emerges after some time into a beautiful butterfly. That is exactly the transformative experience of a dark night of the soul. It's where you feel dark. It's where you feel depressed. You are faced with your inner demons and all of the wounding that has happened throughout your life in past lives and rectifying the karma that you've accumulated throughout lifetimes. Again, there is another video I put out with the 10 methods of healing through the dark night of the soul, and I'm going to post that here as well so you can check it out. Then what is a Kundalini awakening and how is it interrelated to the dark night of the soul? A Kundalini awakening is the awakening of your energy body. It's usually like an energy surge that moves through the spine, up through to the crown of the head. Sometimes this can happen spontaneously through meditation or a spiritual awakening or an activation, such as meeting a twin flame, for example. So that kind of activation can happen very suddenly. And when it happens like that, it is extremely uncomfortable because we're not used to this high level spiritual energy, in which some people refer to as ascension symptoms. And so that is the activation of Kundalini. It is an ancient tantric concept in which we talk about the chakras, for example. The dormant Kundalini energy sits at the base of the spine with these circulatory channels called the nadis, the Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna nadis. And when this Kundalini energy is awakened, the energy moves up through the central part of the spine, the Sushumna nadi, and moves through the chakras. However, the painful part of the Kundalini awakening is that sometimes if there is blocked energy in the chakras, the Kundalini energy can get stuck. And as it gets stuck in a part of you, usually around the second or third chakra is where it tends to get stuck. But you can feel this intense, inflamed energy. So sometimes people perceive this as sexual energy. And the reason for that is not that it is. The reason is that it's this intense energy that is moving up from the base of the spine. So where are the sex organs? At the base of the spine and moving up through the second and then third chakras. So of course, people are going to refer to it as maybe that. But really, that is not what it is. It's designed to help connect you to your higher spiritual energy, which everybody has. Everybody has access to that. So it can feel intense. You can have ascension symptoms. You can have this feeling of swooning almost, where during meditation, you could feel this swaying motion as the nadis, the Ida Pingala nadis, are weaving through the chakras. And this is real, guys. This can happen during intense meditation, when you're meditating for a long time, when you've been starting a new meditation practice, and maybe you're 30 days into it, and all of a sudden you're feeling these symptoms of this energy surge that's coming up through the spine. How is the dark night of the soul interrelated with a Kundalini awakening? Well, the Kundalini awakening can happen with a spiritual awakening, and the dark night of the soul can happen with a spiritual awakening. Now, they don't have to happen at the exact same time, but sometimes one or the other can happen and trigger the other. Now, especially that can happen with Kundalini rising as you awaken, and it gets stuck somewhere, which then triggers the dark night of the soul. So for example, if you have a lot of karma, stuck energy, inner core wounding, childhood, inner child wounding that is happening around the sacral second chakra, the sexuality and creativity chakra, for example, that's when a dark night of the soul could be ignited. If you have stuck energy around the solar plexus chakra, for example, that's our sense of personal power, being able to show up in the world and be confident in ourselves. If that energy, that Kundalini energy, becomes stuck around the solar plexus chakra, you could trigger a dark night of the soul, because that is the thing you are needing to heal. You're needing to heal that ego sense of, here I am as I show up in the world. That is how they are interrelated. Let's go through a few of the things that differentiate Kundalini awakening versus the dark night of the soul. The Kundalini awakening happens through meditation, breath work, trauma, or even spontaneously, whereas the dark night of the soul is like an existential crisis. It can happen through trauma. It can happen through a sudden event. It can happen through a personal loss, for example. The feeling of a dark night of the soul is like emptiness, feeling of hopelessness, feeling of apathy, feeling of an ego death, which I talk about in another video. I will post that link right here. Again, the Kundalini awakening, the feeling of it is the feeling that you get while in meditation, while you're doing breath work, especially intense breath work that I talk about in other videos. The process of the dark night of the soul is the breaking down of your personal identity. So it's really the breaking down of the layers covering the higher spiritual self, whereas the process of the Kundalini awakening is the activation of the prana, the life force energy that has been hidden by the layers, that has been dormant by the hidden layers of the self. The symptoms of a dark night of the soul could be confusion, depression, isolation, and the symptoms of a Kundalini awakening could be extreme heat. That's one. If you're twin flame, you know what I'm talking about. Tingling sensations in the body, visions, or, as I mentioned, like body movements, like swaying during meditation. The outcome of a dark night of the soul is a rebirth to your higher spiritual self. The outcome of a Kundalini awakening is spiritual enlightenment and transformation. So as you can see, they're very interrelated. They are interrelated to one another, but they are distinct and different as far as experiences go. A Kundalini awakening is not necessarily going to give you depression. A Kundalini awakening is usually bringing you into higher states of bliss, a higher state of being. It can open up your psychic gifts and visions, whereas the dark night of the soul really takes you into the depths of yourself. The bottom line is both of these experiences, whether you're experiencing a dark night of the soul or a Kundalini awakening, they're both about personal transformation. And it's about you evolving into a better version of yourself that is more connected to your higher spiritual self and is more connected to spirit. As you let go of the old version of yourself, you're welcoming in the newer, higher spiritual state version of yourself. So be open to it, stay awake to it. It's really important that you try not to shut it down as it's happening, but that you embrace the experience and opening yourself up to the evolution of your being as you move into these higher states of consciousness. And I really assure you that as you do this, you're going to feel better, better, and better, even though right now it might feel worse. It might feel horrible. You might be going through these transformative changes and being really resistant to those changes. And you might even be afraid. But I assure you that as you are going through these transformative spiritual experiences, thousands, hundreds of thousands of millions of people throughout the ages, throughout time, have gone through the same. So this is not new. Past meditators, past people who have gone through a spiritual awakening have already laid down the groundwork. As you move through it, it means you are ready to move through it. Rest assured, if you're going through it, you are ready to move through it. And my suggestion always, this is always my suggestion, guys, is to meditate daily. To meditate daily, twice a day. In fact, if you are wanting to learn how to meditate, you can always join my course online. You will get your personalized mantra from me over Zoom. And I assure you, with my course, you will be well underway to meditating by yourself without the use of guided meditations. You'll be able to do it all by yourself, anywhere, anytime, any place, I assure you. So that's a great way to move through any type of spiritual awakening, whether you're in the midst of a dark night of the soul, whether you're going through a Kundalini awakening, whether you're on the twin flame journey, a soulmate journey, a personal journey, an existential crisis, and trying to find your dharma, your life purpose, whatever it happens to be. Meditation paves the way for you in a much, much easier way. Let me know in the comments section below, have you experienced the dark night of the soul? Have you experienced a Kundalini awakening? And if so, what was that like for you? Where did you feel it in the body? What became of that Kundalini awakening? What kind of ascension symptoms did you experience during that Kundalini awakening? I would love to know, because for me personally, I've gone through both. So for me personally, they were very different experiences. So I just want to make a quick announcement before we sign off. I have exciting news for you about my upcoming book that's coming out on Earth Day, April 22nd of 2025. This is exciting news. To learn more, please stay tuned to my channel, subscribe below, click on the bell so you don't miss any of the notifications of my upcoming videos. In a couple of days, I'll be making the great announcement for my upcoming book. I'm so excited for this one. And I will see you guys real soon. Thank you so much for your support of my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.